Last week, I got the keys to my new garage away from home, and you guys were very supportive in the comments. But I know what you were really thinking. That is a disgusting workshop. I know that because I was thinking the exact same thing. But the good news is that peeling off this masking marks the end of painting, and the end of the first step to get it looking more like a garage I could be proud of. So we're back outside the workshop, but this time to give you an update on what we've accomplished in the last week or so. So starting outside, I don't really mind that much about how it looks because this isn't where I'm going to be filming. I'm going to be filming in there. But what we did do was repaint this border that, if you remember, used to be green. It's now white and just looks a lot cleaner. Someone also mentioned putting in a permanent steel ramp, which is a good idea. It would be very convenient, and I might do it one day, but for now I do enjoy just using a ramp to get in and out because it makes entering feel like an occasion and just much more special. But inside is where we've put in the most time and had the biggest difference. So starting at the top, the ceiling has had a fresh lick of white paint. It's not that noticeable on camera, but it has made a huge difference and just looks cleaner. Then moving down, you'll notice that all the walling that used to be a hideous yellow is now grey and just looks much cleaner in my opinion. Then next are these white tiles that were absolutely disgusting, and they've all been given a very good scrub, as has the rest of everything. So it's all much cleaner and ready to go. On the other end, this door hadn't seen any TLC pretty much in its entire life. So I took that off, gave it a sand and resealed it, and it looks much better. At first I wasn't sure that I was even making a difference, but when you look at it compared to how it started, it does look much better. The same can be said for the door frame that I repainted white and all the window frames that I repainted white because they were sort of going yellow with age. And if you look at it like this, it sort of actually looks pretty good. The only thing that we do need to figure out is how to sort out this horrible, disgusting floor that's flaking. But that's exactly what we're going to sort out today, and I already have the solution. So this is my solution for this floor. So these are the famous PVC interlocking tiles. So they're basically just flexible rubber with these pieces on the edge that interlock with each other so that you can make a pretty easy and quick floor. So they're very common in places like gyms and garages. These black ones are the most common simply because they're the cheapest. I'm going to use these grey ones. They are slightly more expensive, okay, a lot more expensive. But the reason I want the grey ones is because when I'm trying to show the camera something, if I have a all black background, it's going to be very difficult to see. Where the grey ones are going to be better because they reflect more light. And the reason that I really want to use these is simply because that way I don't have to deal with this disgusting floor. It has been painted in the past by the looks of it because that paint is all peeling. And in my opinion, all the prep work to get this ready to paint is going to be more difficult and more expensive than simply putting these down. And judging by how this paint has lasted, it's not the best idea anyway. At least with these, if you damage one, you can replace it, or if you leave, you can take them with you. If you were expecting Swiss tracks or a fancy epoxy flooring, you're in the wrong place. I have more of a normal person's budget, hence the more normal person approach. I figured these tiles would be a good day's work to install. After all, they interlock, so how hard could it be? But it turns out they required a bit more persuasion to interlock than I'd expected. Since the black tiles are cheaper, I decided to do a black rectangle in the center so I could buy fewer grey ones, and I thought it would add some character. I killed my back, knees, and blistered my hands, but I think it was well worth it. Between a knife, a rubber mallet, and cheap labor, also known as my girlfriend, it turned out just how I'd planned. And it didn't take long for it to be christened by the dirt bike. And after 2 days of labor, I even had a few square meters left over. Now that it is finally presentable, I can officially move in. Obviously, my workbench was the first to go, since it will probably suit a garage better than an apartment. And my dirt bike gearbox came in handy to transport all the tools, before the tool wall and bench vise were removed to make things a bit lighter. So the first thing that we need to build are my video lights, my soft boxes, because the sun's currently going down and it's about to get dark. But the real reason that I'm excited to build these is because usually I set them up to film the shots that I need indoors, but because they take up so much space, I have to take them down as soon as I'm finished. So I'll waste about 15 minutes a day just building these and taking them down. It's not that long and I have gotten faster at it, but to be able to have a space where I can just leave them up is going to save so much time and be a lot less painful. The workbench could also be reassembled in its new home, but this time the tedious process was simplified a bit. I also picked up a pressure washer because, as I said, I can finally clean bikes here, and the dirt bike especially is definitely going to need some pressure to get it clean, and it's just convenient for the Duke. As well as the snow foam attachment, because what's the point of a pressure washer without snow foam? And a garden hose to, well, use it. So the most amusing part about buying a pressure washer was actually these. So the guy that I bought it from was a really nice guy, and he actually had a little Yamaha Pee-wee 50 in the back of his garage. So we got to talking like motorcyclists do, and turns out he used to have a Yamaha YZ250 just like I do, and he had just sold it. So he was nice enough to give me his old used fenders, front and back. So the front one is actually in really good condition. It's probably in a better shape than mine, so I'll probably throw this on at some point. The back one has been used very harshly, so I doubt I'll be putting that one on unless I have to. But it is always good to have a spare one, just in case you flip your bike. A good garage also needs a cupboard, except this cupboard was a hunk of junk and broke twice just while I was trying to assemble it. So I got a bigger and better cabinet instead that didn't break. This way I can hide the less desirable garage essentials from view, like the flooring offcuts and scrap wood, cleaning essentials and spray cans, frequently used tools, and products that have been reviewed on the channel. The cupboard also seemed to be the perfect spot for a giant sticker I've had lying around for a while, especially since branding is a necessity to make the cupboard fit in. And finally, I got a shelving rack to store items I don't mind having on display, which currently only consists of my jerry cans, but I'm sure it will fill up quickly. It's satisfying to see the finished product that I've envisioned, and I loved seeing both my bikes side by side, which sadly I haven't actually seen very often, and I can't wait to spend hours and hours in here. Though I haven't actually taken up much space in here, which is kind of a good thing, because I would like to build another workbench. I would like to get a desk in here at some point, and over time it should slowly fill with more tools and, more importantly, more bikes. But this is a brilliant place to start, and I can't believe that this is the same workshop as day one. But anyway, let me know what you think of the garage/workshop. What else you think we should do in here, and I'll see you on the next ride.